I know other pieces that you work with your clients is finding their purpose and assessing their intuition. And so I'd love to know more about how you do that with them.
Yeah. So I have a interesting take, I guess, on finding your purpose. I believe that your purpose finds you. So I love to talk about this because I was one of these people who was searching. So just a little bit of my background. I have not always been connected to my feminine energy. I was very much like you, very controlling of my environment. I was the achiever, I would say, was my main archetype. Like my parents like it when I do well in school, so I'm going to do really well in school. I went to Stanford. I worked at Facebook. I reached the pinnacle of what I thought they wanted from me. And it's like 2 years into Facebook, I was like, I hate this. I actually hate this. And I left at that point and I went to work in fitness because at the time I was really passionate about health and fitness. And my journey has just kind of been a winding road of wellness and learning about myself since then. The reason I bring that up is because I went on this 12-year journey of trying to find my purpose. And I honestly can say that although it was good that I was searching and following the next right thing, that's all I could do. So for the people that want to have it all figured out, like, well, I just need to know what it is, I guarantee you that's not going to happen. The reason for that is because if I had known when I left Facebook that this was my purpose to help women be in their feminine energy and surrender, I would have been like, what are you talking about? So you have to be prepared on each stepping stone to receive your purpose. So really you want to focus on, okay, maybe I'm not happy with what I'm doing now. What is the next right thing? What feels like the next thing I could do that feels good in this moment? Don't worry about the future, just what feels good right now. And then you keep following that. And then if you move and you're like, no, I'm unhappy again, then you go to the next thing. And you just keep shifting, learning skills, because everything you feel like you want to do is there to train you and teach you and prepare you for your purpose. And again, the breadcrumbs, you just follow the breadcrumbs. Your higher self is leading you on the perfect journey. And when you get to your purpose, like me now, I'm in it. And I look back and I'm like, everything prepared me for what I'm doing now. I take skills from everything that I did and it's all blended together into what I'm doing now. So that's my answer.
Yeah, that's huge. Mine was not 12 years, but I left my career of 19 years and was like, I know I'm meant for something else. I'm going to do it. What is it? Oh, wait. And I realized it's that toolbox. I need all these tools to be able to do what I'm doing. I believe your purpose is to truly be how you are designed. And that is understanding your body, like your cycle, human design. And I found as I read people, especially in the spiritual space, the majority of them are already living in their design and they don't know it. Because when they have that energetic circuitry lit up, they are lit up. They're following their passions. They know how to look and feel in their body and say, yes. Of course, I had to dive into yours. I want to echo what you're doing is your purpose. And that's ultimately what I like to do with this. And
I love
so
that.
as a manifester, you are meant to initiate and make things happen. You are a force that injects drive and focus into any project and the people around you. You can do it alone, needing no one but your own drive. I've found that a lot of times manifestors have a harder childhood because parents are like, what do I do with this child? They don't understand how a manifestor operates and looking at it as like we are all so different. And if we can focus on what we're good at or what lights us up, I truly believe the world would be a magical place if we could understand those things that we do and how we operate. With a manifestor, it's when that anger comes up. That's when you're probably not living in your design fully. Like there's something that's kind of stopping you from what you want to do. When that anger builds up, you're maybe not speaking up, or someone has tried to direct your action taking. They're trying to detour you on your path. It's really important for you to inform what you're doing before you act, not to get someone's approval. They either need to, one, stay out of your way, or two, step up to support you. And so with just those little pieces, how does that feel? And I guess I didn't ask you, do you have any basis of human design at all?
Yeah, so I'm familiar with the basics of human
Okay.
design. Yeah. And it all resonates. I mean, when I learned I was a manifester, I was like, oh my God, thank God, because I thought something was wrong with me. I couldn't stick with anything. I was always changing my mind. I was always jumping around. Like, I told you how many jobs I have had before starting my own business, or I would change schools. And, there's just so much just, I don't like this. Let me try something else. And I'm supposed to be that way. I'm supposed to follow my passions. I'm not supposed to finish things. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I get it now. So that's really important to me. The anger piece, I'm definitely still working on because I don't consider myself a very angry person, but I probably have suppressed anger. My mother is more of an angry person. And so I think that I kind of went the opposite way of like, okay, well, let me try not to be angry. But I definitely get angry. So I think that's something, a level of it that I haven't really been mindful of that I would like to start paying more attention to of, okay, what does this mean about me being out of alignment right now?
And that's what I do with my clients is when they're feeling disconnected, how can we look at their human design to get them reconnected, to get them in alignment with it? A big piece to human design that I say you can elevate your intuition by your inner authority, and that's how you should make decisions. And so it's knowing that you're not meant to make a decision right away, that you must seek that emotional clarity before making a decision. So going through those emotions and letting your body go through it before you ultimately make that decision. That being said, your spleen is defined. So you have that intuition built inside of you. But sometimes it's like, oh, my intuition is saying that this excites me. But then when I go through it and process it, I realize, oh, do I really want to put my energy into something after you've gone through the emotional wave? And so, how does that feel? Because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, wait, I'm not supposed to make a decision right in the moment.
Yeah, that part is really hard because I get excited and I want to make a decision and I'm like, let's go. Like, manifestor energy takes over. But I am learning that. I'm learning to slow down and just give it a couple days and let it all just settle, let the dust settle. And it's true. Usually, once I've done that, there is clarity of, okay, and it feels grounded at that point too.
There's a few things that I like to say of like, here are some affirmations that I tell manifestors. I make time every day to do the things that light me up. It sounds like your morning routine is on point with that. You know that that gets you in your body, that gets you set up for the day. You are lit up by many different projects, and that allows you to be creative. That is how you should be operating. So letting yourself be that authentic version of yourself. And I feel like so many businesses, families, however it is, in the sense of really having to be able to step into yourself, like knowing that it's like, oh, this is how I'm built. I operate this way. It's like validation of like, oh my gosh, I was trying to fit in other people's boxes, the expectations of other people, because that's what they expected. So then the other few pieces of your human design is that you are the investigator of experience. You have a need for knowledge while taking the time for introspection. Once you've done the research, you know there's a sense of security and foundation. You have a need for the experience. You saying what you're going through right now in your life, it's like, you know that that's a part of what you're doing. You have to experience it, and you are meant to make the mistakes along the way and hopefully to learn to laugh while you're doing it.
Yes. Unfortunately, I have 3 Virgo placements that make the making mistakes part hard because Virgo energy, I just want to be perfect. I don't want to make mistakes, but I'm learning that. I'm learning I have to be the one to experience it. And the mess up is where the lesson is that I can share with people.
Yeah, and then this is something that I've recently come across is that the part of your incarnation cross is that right angle. And so your destiny is a personal destiny. And it is all about yourself, and that you don't need to interact with certain people to live out your destiny. You are here to discover what it is to be you. Sometimes I feel like my personal experience, I don't know if this is yours, like it felt really selfish. Diving into my cycle and diving into human design, all these things came from my own selfish need to figure out how I operate. And then I'm like, oh, now I need to share this with people. I enjoy the interactions and I find them very helpful and insightful, but they are not needed to fulfill my destiny.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with that. It reminds me of, so I have Mars in the ninth house in Aries, and it reminds me of that energy. Aries being very self focused, me being driven to learn and grow with myself, but also that ninth house of like wanting to teach that wisdom. I very much have this like, I don't need the other people to learn this. I could definitely just do it all myself. But again, if it's aligned and if it's being brought into my life, then I can accept it.
Yeah, I feel like your purpose is to be who you were meant to be, and I feel like if someone's having a hard time coming to themselves, tools like this can be helpful, but it's also having that discernment of not all this is gonna resonate today, and that certain things will resonate when the time is right, and that lesson, it can help support you.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, one thing I wanted to mention when I had my session with you was that you had mentioned that you saw my picture being printed. And 2 days later, I found out that my face was the cover of a compilation book. I wrote a chapter. There was a few of us that wrote a chapter towards this book. So I just found that really cool that, like, I don't know what this means. And it's like, well, I don't need to know what it means. And then I was like, how cool is that, that you saw this being printed and it happened?
I loved that when you commented that. I was like, oh my gosh. Because I don't
I know.
often get, I mean, I do get some follow ups. People will follow up, but most people don't. And I'm like, oh, I wonder,
I
wonder
wonder,
what
yeah.
happened.
Welcome to Floatactivity, the channel that guides you on a transformative journey towards spiritual wisdom, self-development, and healing practices, all aimed at elevating your intuition and aligning you with your soul's purpose. I'm your host, Kara Dempsey, and I'm thrilled to have you joining me today as we learn together.